Welcome to the Stephen Hartmann Podcast. What's the show? No one knows. Who am I? Who cares? Let's start the show.
Hell yeah. Let's start this show. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a good week. It's the weekend. It's here, everybody. Hope you get to enjoy it. I got to work tomorrow, but I'm off Sunday, so I'm off part of the weekend. So that's kind of nice. I need to remember I don't have to eat the goddamn mic. I keep doing that for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I know that the audio is good enough from here. I've listened back enough times. I should know that. Anyway, like I said, it's the weekend. Hope everybody's going to have a good time. Be safe. Looks like we might get some storms this weekend. Who knows? Probably not the way it works. We did have the ultrasound today. That was pretty cool. Got some really good photos. The lady that did the ultrasound really knew what she was doing. Like, she was doing like some Photoshop shit, like putting like, we'll put the light over here so you can see the face a little bit more, put it over here so the shadows, like, it was like, what the fuck? Damn, this lady's all good. The other people just, took pictures and shit, but this lady was doing all kinds of stuff. So it was pretty cool to see. She's definitely got a little bit of an attitude, doesn't like her picture taken. Seems like every time that camera comes out, she's either trying to hide her face or putting her hands up by her face. It's pretty funny. But we did get some pretty decent ones though, so I'll put them up on social media and shit so you guys can check them out. She's basically at 5 pounds. They didn't tell us how long she was this time, but I mean, she was like 17 inches last time, so I figure probably like 18 maybe. She's doing really good. Lady gave her an A+. That was good to hear. They checked out the heart and all that stuff, and everything was really good. So pretty pumped about that. It's getting here sooner and sooner. We put together one of the baby beds today, so that was cool. Getting that all put together. It seemed like it was going to be hard at first, but once we kind of put the stuff together, it was like, oh, okay, this was actually pretty easy. So wasn't too bad. We're going to try to put that crib together sometime. That's probably going to be a little bit more of a chore because it's, like wood and shit. So it's going to be a little bit more of a chore than that. Like, we got a travel one that we put together. Trying to think of anything else with the baby. I think that it's funny. They're always asking us if we have any questions. And I'm like, we never have any questions. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but I guess it's probably a good thing, because if we had questions, it'd probably be concerns about stuff, but at least everything, so far, everything's going really good. Yeah, that we did that, and then we all had dinner and stuff tonight. That was pretty fun. I tried some new Chinese food. Usually I try the same shit all the time, but tonight I went with the Kung Pao beef. It's supposed to be spicy, but I've had way spicier. I think they're too afraid to give us the full spice because, white people usually can't take that shit. So they know we just like it, like, tastes like candy. It's good. But like, I want to try some real spicy Chinese food or whatever. But it always seems like they tame it down. Like, I've tried it at several different places, and it's always just like, I've had hotter Mexican food, But that was fun. It was a nice dinner, hanging out with everybody. Got to see the baby shaking around a little bit here and there. That was kind of interesting. I guess I'll just segue into some Big Brother real quick because that was kind of lame this week. They got, I don't know, one of the guys that I thought was one of the better players and probably should have been one of the winners, maybe Derek X. He's gone. They did this whole plan of backdooring him, and it worked exactly the way they wanted it to. I haven't really liked this season that much just because there's been like no drama. There's been no flip flops. There's nobody backstabbing. It's kind of just all go with the flow with the big group shit, you know? And it's kind of disappointing. Like, I like to see, you know, the double crosses, the fucking, oh my God, what the hell? Why'd you do that to me? That wasn't the plan. You know, like, even though Derek X didn't know the plan, but everyone else did, you know? It's been like, you know, just the oblivious person going home every week, but the rest of the house knows, you know? It's been kind of lame. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping it starts picking up because, you know, this group is going to have to start taking out each other eventually. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Like, once it gets down to the 6 of them, you know, it's just all out war. Like, of course, a couple of them aren't going to do good because, you know, like Derek F., he's not going to win much. He's just not athletic and truthfully not very smart. Then Azaz, she's horrible at comps, so like I don't see her winning anything. So you just assume those two are just 6 and 5, you know, because like Xavier, Kylan, even Tiffany apparently won HOH. I saw that online. So spoilers if anybody hadn't seen that shit. Tiffany won. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. I know who got nominated, but I won't say that right now because I'm not sure if they showed it yet because it was just Thursday. I didn't even watch Thursday's episode. I just saw what happened online. I knew Derek was going home. Kind of sucked. Like I said, I kind of wanted to see that dude do something, but he just got too comfortable. That's the thing in this game. When you think you're good, you probably should second guess yourself a lot. And he didn't really do that. He was just like, I'm going to wait till next week, man. I got time. It's just like, nope, you should have spent that money on that game, dude. You probably would have won and you probably would have been safe. But the whole thing is I'm pretty sure there's going to be a battle back. They haven't told any of the jury members any legit info. Like normally Julie would be like, so, hey, you know, this is the cookout. It's all these guys. They haven't done any of that. They've given them very vague info. Just like, oh, there's 5 other people in my alliance. They don't really say who. So that tends to make me think, okay, they're not giving them the info because they don't want them to have that extra info in case they get back into the house, which makes sense. And someone else pointed out that the time of the way the show ends, that kind of tells you that there will be a battle back because there's like that extra time. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. Usually, you know, by then the show would be over or something like that. I can't remember how they said it, but it made sense that, okay, yeah, that there's going to be a battle back unless of course they do a triple eviction again. Like, I think that was the only way that the math makes sense is if they get rid of 3 people, which they probably wouldn't do that again. They don't usually do things back to back like that. So I think there'll be a jury battle back. So that means, you know, so far the people that have been voted out, they'll have a chance to come back. Derek X would be, you know, definitely someone I can see coming back for sure. Cause, you know, he's won most of the competitions. So it'll be interesting. I think they do battle backs after, I think it's 5 people. So what has there been 2 or 3? I can't remember. I think there's only been 2 people sent to the jury so far. So we got a couple more weeks before we'd find that out. Maybe they would only wait till 4. That makes it a nice little even number. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to have to do. It'll be 4 people and they'll bring them back for a chance to come back. That's my guess. They may not. Like, people are pointing out that because of COVID, they wouldn't do this because it wouldn't be safe. And it's like, why wouldn't it be safe? They can keep these people isolated in a house like they always do. So how would it not be safe? it's just as safe as filming. Like they're filming Stranger Things like right down the street from here. So if it's safe enough to film Stranger Things, I think it'd be safe enough to do some fucking Big Brother filming, right? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh yeah, that's pretty crazy too. They're filming Stranger Things here in Albuquerque. I was kind of intrigued by that. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like literally around my neighborhood. They're filming down the street at the park that my niece's new school where she goes to. They're filming right there at that park, and then like they were filming right down the street from one of my friends' houses. So it's kind of cool to see that that's going to be in Albuquerque. Be able to see that in the next season. It's kind of interesting. I always thought that was kind of cool. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, like they've been recording that here recently too. So, but like for Stranger Things to come here kind of tripped me out. I was like, huh, I didn't think they would come here for filming, but we got this new huge boom of industry here. Like they got a Netflix thing and all kinds of shit, I guess. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more New Mexico filming going on, which is cool. I don't mind. We got some pretty interesting scenery. It's desert with these gigantic mountains and shit. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, as far as Big Brother, like I said, Tiffany won HOH. I already know what she's doing. I'm pretty sure I know who's going home, unless, of course, that person wins veto or whatever. But it's kind of shitty. Like I said, it's game plan. Everything's going according to plan, and it's just kind of boring. I kind of hate it. I'll keep watching just because, I ain't got nothing else to watch right now. Football's almost here, but, you can only watch so much of that a week too. So I like having Big Brother because it's 3 days a week. It gives you something 3 days to look forward to. You don't really get many shows that do that. I know Amazing Race is like almost every fucking day. I just never got into that show whatsoever. I don't know why. Like I've liked a lot of those shows. I liked like Bull Run and all that stuff with the cars and everything. Road Rules back in the day. I just never got into Amazing Race for some reason. I did laugh at the Amazing Racist. That's a skit that Ari Shaffir did back in the day. It was just fucking wrong. All kinds of crazy stuff that he did. I couldn't believe that he wasn't going to get beat up a few times. But apparently a lot of that shit was fake. So it makes sense now. It was a lot of Borat type shit, but a little more crazy. Like, I don't know. Check him out. He's on YouTube. You can watch his stuff. It's old. It's like, I don't know, 15 years old, but it's The Amazing Racist. It's, a play off of that show. But it's he's a comedian, Ari Shaffir. He did it. I can't remember if it was like for a show or a DVD or what, but I think it might have been a DVD now that I think about it. It was just like one of those weird, like not another teen movie type thing, but it was like really crazy comedy shit, just like a bunch of skits. I think like there was like Sarah Silverman and all kinds of shit on it or something. I don't even know how the fuck I got there. Oh, I was talking about Amazing Race. Man. Anyway, that's pretty much my Big Brother talk for today. I'll talk a little bit about the sports shit. It's almost the start of the season. I did get the fantasy league and my pick'ems started. I think I said it the last episode. So far, I've had a few people join. If I get enough for 2 fantasy football leagues, I'll do it. But if I just have the one, that's fine. And I am going to do some kind of prize. I haven't quite figured out what. I know I can at least do like a couple of gift cards for an Xbox or something like that. But I would like it to be a better prize. And I'm not like wanting people to like pay to get in either. So this is just like a prize that I'm going to give away. I don't know what yet, but it will be at least, let's just say it's going to be a $20 value. Okay. So the winner of the ESPN Fantasy League will get $20. And I'm kind of thinking about doing that with the Pick'em too. It should have some kind of prize. We'll figure that one out as well. But that may just be a $20 prize too. I haven't decided yet, but I'll let you know. The ESPN one for sure, $20 to the winner at least. And that's if I can get some other shit. I'll just keep piling up the prize shit. So that's pretty much it for the sports. I haven't watched any of the Raiders shit or anything in the preseasons or anything. So I'm going into a lot of this season very cold. So if people are playing me in fantasy, they might have a chance this year. In other years, I've gone undefeated almost every year. Like there wasn't too many years that I didn't have an undefeated team. So we'll see how I do this year. I've made it to the championship almost every single year that I've played, and I've won, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So we'll see how I do this year. Cause like I said, I am completely cold. I hardly know any of the players. I've barely paid attention to anything. So we'll see how I do. Same with the picks. Usually I do pretty decent. Last year I did horrible. Like I said, I was like 18 games behind the winner, and that was second place. So I'm hoping to get a lot more players on that this year. I think normally I have like 6 people, but I think I already have like 10. So that's cool. I'm hoping I can get like 20 or more on there. That'd be kind of cool because then it makes it more competitive because it's like, if one of the people get out, front right away, they can usually keep it unless, someone else gets on a roll and shit. And it's kind of hard, when there's only a certain amount of people. So it'd be kind of cool to get about 20 on there. So I'm going to just start sending invites to everybody. I'm like, I don't care if you know football. Just pick some fucking games. You might win something. That'll be it on the sports. The news is pretty fucking quick too today. The only thing I saw is I actually saw something about those children that I had been talking about. And apparently it's getting even crazier. I think the last time I talked about this, it was like almost 2,000 kids. And I think it was like 5 schools. It's now up to 5,200 kids. And I think they said 10 schools. And I'm just like, holy shit, man. 5,000 children killed at school. And nobody knew about it. It's one thing for 5,000 kids to be killed and go missing. It happens all the time. I was looking that shit up. I said it last time. I think I was way off. I said like 40,000, right? I looked it up. It said over 300,000 children go missing a year. It's like 600 something thousand people go missing a year. That blew me away. Okay. That's one thing. That's just people going missing. All right. From their home, after school, whatever. This isn't kids going to a school and never coming back. How did 5,000 kids do that? And it's just like not known until now. Like I said, I understand it's being known now, but it's not like they just murdered these 5,000 students, unless they did. And why? Why is this happening? It doesn't make sense. Are they really bad at punishing? Or, as my sister-in-law said, are they really good at punishing? But it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it doesn't make any sense. How obviously the schools were doing the same shit, because it's not just like 1 or 2 schools. It's several fucking schools now. And it's 5,200 kids. That's a lot. Even if it's over 50 years, that's 100 kids a year, right? Am I doing my math right? I think I'm doing my math right. That's a lot of fucking kids to go missing a year. So I just don't get it. Like, how does that happen? But like I said, when I start thinking about it, when I look at those numbers that we have, how do 300,000 children go missing in our country a year? How does that happen? Like, I understand there's 400 million people here. And to say 300,000 disappear, it sounds like a big number, but when you add it to that number, it's a very small percentage. We know all about percentages right now. I'm not even going to go into percentage shit, but it's a pretty fucking small percentage. But 300,000 children just going away just seems like norm here. Like, we don't care. It happens every year. We don't really do much to stop it. Like, I think every now and again you'll get this thing of, oh, we got to save the missing children or whatever. Fucking computers freaking me out. But yeah, it's crazy, man. And like I said, how another 300,000 to 400,000 adults go missing. Now, for adults to go missing, that's, to me, it's not as big of a deal. All right. I'm not saying that adult lives aren't as important. I'm just saying adults can go missing. We're allowed to do that. We can just decide to fucking leave and not be ourselves anymore if we want to be, So there's nothing against the law there. But it's still a very large fucking number. And then, like I said, for 300,000 children to go missing, you just got to think, like, how is that happening? All right. And like I said, you break it down for how many days that is. Okay. It's not that many per day, I guess. 100 per day. Is that right? Yeah. No, that'd be 1,000 per day, right? It's 365 days. 1,000. Yeah, because you put the 3 zeros. Yeah, that'd be like 360,000 if it was 1,000 a day. Yeah. So 1,000 kids go missing a day in our country. That seems like a lot. Like I said, I understand 400 million people. I don't know how many of that is children. Let's just say 150 million children. 1,000 of those go missing a day. I guess that percentage is small enough that we just don't care. Or we're just fine enough with it that we're not concerned that much. Like, when you look at history's numbers, it's pretty much the same every year. We're not trying to improve these kids going missing. And you would think that would be something that we want to do. But like I said, it's just like, it's almost accepted. Yeah, some kids are going to go missing sometimes. Some trucker's just going to pick up some kids every now and again, or some kid's just going to wander off into the woods, or, like, I don't know what the thinking is of why it's okay. Why is it okay that 300,000 kids just disappear every year? More than likely, not all of them are dead. Let's just say, on a good side, 80% of those kids, for some reason, just happen to run away or whatever. They're fine. Nothing bad happened to them. 20% of those kids are still not in good condition. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of fucking kids. So I don't know. It seems like we should be worried about that a little bit more than other things that we're worried about. And like I said, even the adults, man, it seems like a lot of adults to go missing every year. Like I said, I understand. Let's just say, 60% of those people are just people trying to get away from their life. There's still, 150, 200,000 people just going missing. Now, am I to assume those people are just dead? They've been kidnapped. They're sex slaves. Those are really the only three options, correct? If you're missing, there's really only like three options. You've been kidnapped. You're dead. Or I guess maybe you've lost your fucking memory. Like, I don't know. Like, there's really not too many options of why you're missing. Either you want to be missing, someone took you, now you're some kind of, prisoner to some fucking organization or some shit, which we hear about, for sure. I mean, we heard about that shit with the fucking celebrities and shit. They had that weird ass sex slave ring out in Hollywood. So, I mean, I guess that shit goes on, obviously. And it's just like, is that where all these missing people go? Because that's a lot of fucking people to go missing all the time. But then again, when you hear that there's like 10,000 active serial killers, I guess that could also be a lot of those missing fucking people. If they're killing people constantly, and then, there's just ordinary murder and all that shit. So I guess, yeah, more than likely, a lot of those missing are probably dead. Very few are actually just fine, and it's crazy to think that almost 1 million people a year just in this country just disappear. Imagine that. Imagine if there was just like a lottery that we all had to play that every year 700,000 of us just got vanished. I think we care a little bit more then, even though it's still the same fucking odds. Like it's just weird when you think about shit like that. Like one side, it's like, man, that's fucking nuts. But when you break it down to the percentages, then people are like, oh, well, it's not that bad. But then if you offer it, like I said, in the way that I did, okay, well, if it's not that bad, then every year everybody gets put into this Powerball, and then everybody that's chosen is fucking vanished. People wouldn't be okay with that, I don't think. But they're okay with missing people. It's just, there's a lot of slippery slope shit when it comes to how we are as humans. Like we make a lot of fucked up choices when it comes to shit like that. Like why stuff like that is accepted. I guess it's not accepted. It's just like, all right, we understand it happens. Can we just not bring it up in the news? I don't need to hear about it. We know it happens. So I don't know. I kind of got off on a tangent again there, but it's just because, like I said, this shit just blows me away. Like how this could possibly happen. Like I'm just trying to think of that happening here. Let's just say the 10 schools here in New Mexico, all of a sudden we found 5,200 bodies in these schools, like it would be amazing to hear that, because how the fuck does that go on nowadays? Like I said, I mean, I just don't understand how it went on. It had to have been more than one person. Obviously, it was like 10 schools. So was this just a practice and people just accepted it? And I just don't get it. It's a very strange story. I will definitely be checking in with it as often as it comes up, because it's just I don't get what happened. I hope one day we figure out why, Like my mother-in-law said something about where they just trying to genocide their kids or some shit like that. And I'm like, that's kind of a crazy thought, but it almost kind of feels like that. It was like, did they decide like, all right, in 2016, all these kids, they're all cursed. We need to kill these kids. So they just all got together, killed all those kids that were there, and moved on from there. Just those ones, just the ones born that year or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's just such a strange story. Like there's no possible way. There's just one person. It's definitely organized. And who organizes just murders of children? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's fucking crazy to think that this kind of shit can happen. Especially, like I said, it's not like it's, it's not big city. Of course, it's like native land and shit. So, but it's not like third world country. They're not living in the fucking jungle cut off from the world and shit. So it's just amazing that this kind of shit happens. I get like, in Africa where they fucking can murder their whole tribes and shit like that, because, they're kind of cut off from the world and shit, But like I said, this is, it's fucking Canada. They got fucking gigantic cities and shit up there. They're a pretty advanced civilization. It's kind of crazy that kind of shit's going on up there. I don't know. Like I said, it's not like we're doing much better. When I looked into our numbers for stuff, it's kind of scary, how much it happens every year. Like I said, you can look back from the last like 25 years and it is consistent every fucking year. And it goes, of course, with our population. So every year it's just kind of growing every year. It's just like a consistent number. Every now and again you see like this boom or whatever, but hardly ever do you see where it's like, oh, hell yeah, we only had like 100,000 kids go missing this year. It's like, no, it's pretty much always that high number or higher. So, like I said, I guess we're not too much better. But like I said, it's not like we found, 400 bodies underneath, Jerebeck Elementary School in San Diego or some shit, I don't know. It's a fucked up situation. Like, I just don't understand. I guess I'll segue off that somehow. I was going to tell my life story today, and it's going to be about drugs, people. So if you don't want to hear me talk about drugs and the drugs that I've done, turn this shit off now. Because I am going to tell you about the first time I did acid, LSD. It was when I was living in Palm Springs. Truthfully, it was probably not even a month after I moved to Palm Springs. I was hanging out with my buddy Billy. He was like the first dude I hung out with. He was my friend the whole time. Like I said, I did some pretty shitty stuff to that guy, and I feel bad about that. But we were hanging out, with his buddies, getting high and all this shit. And I can't remember her name, but one of the girls was all like, "Hey, you want a tab?" I was all like, "Sure, I'll take a beer." I don't know why I thought she was saying the beer, And she's like, "No, man, a tab." And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And she hands me this little piece of paper and she's like, "Just take that." I'm like, "What is it?" She's like, "It's LSD." I'm like, "I have no idea what you're telling me." And she's like, "Just take it." So I put the little square in my mouth. And we all just, go walking, fucking. I think we might have smoked a bowl right then too, but we just start walking around the mall and all this shit in Palm Springs. And I don't know, eventually I start kind of feeling a little funky and everything. It's like, oh man, this is kind of crazy, fucking kind of feeling a little good. Not really sure, just kind of feel a little more high than normal, nothing crazy. It's like, I don't know, getting kind of late because we have to go back to my house. Billy's spending the night with me. So we're like walking back to my house. And like I said, I can feel it like in my legs and all this shit. And, the shadows are kind of being weird. And I'm just like, dude, this is fucking weird, man. Have you ever done this? And he's like, yeah, dude, I've done acid quite a few times. It's fun. It's going to be little long. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, it's going to be like 10 hours or something like that. And I'm like, dude, like, I think we had to go to school the next day. I can't remember. But I was just like, oh, I didn't know it was going to last that long. And he's like, yeah, it's going to get more intense too. And I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen. And he's like, it's going to be all good, dude. We'll just fucking hang out and all this shit and smoke a little weed, hang out in the backyard or whatever. So we get to my house and we're fucking smoking and shit. And that's when I start seeing like the rug crawling. I'm like, dude, the fucking rug is like moving. He's like, dude, check out the walls and everything. And I'm like, looking and I'm like, holy shit, it looks like the walls are melting. The textured paint is just like moving down the walls. And I'm just like, this is fucking insane. And we're watching wrestling and all the guys doing flips and everything's super colorful. And I'm just laughing my ass off. And me and him are having this great old time. And all of a sudden, my uncle and his business partner show up. And we're like, holy fuck, who's home? Because no one was supposed to be home. Like, we were supposed to be there all night. Like I can't remember, for some reason they showed up early. So we kind of freaked out. But what was funny is like they were really high or drunk because they both came in just like laughing their asses off and just kind of stumbling around and shit. And they both said hi and they both went into their rooms and shit. So it was kind of funny. We were both like, what the fuck was that about, dude? Like, that was strange as fuck, you know? Like, we thought for sure they were going to come talk to us all kinds and know we were fucked up. And so I was like, I don't know, man. That was fucking weird. Let's go outside. So we go outside and we're smoking a bowl and shit. And my uncle's business partner, Alan, he had a dog there, one of the chows. And we're all petting on him, having a good old time, getting stoned and shit. And the next thing we know, this dog is going crazy, just taking laps around the pool nonstop. We're like, what is this dog doing? Like, why is he running so much? Like, we couldn't really think of it at first. We're like, why is he doing this, dude? Is there something wrong with him? And my buddy Billy goes, you know what, dude? We shouldn't have pet him. I've heard you can like secrete into their blood or whatever by petting him, so he's probably all fucked up. And like not even like 30 seconds after he says that, the dog literally biffs it into the pool. Like smashes into the side, you know, like the corner kind of, and falls into the pool. Me and Billy both freaked the fuck out, like, oh my god, we need to get the dog. Before we could even get in the pool, the dog is already out of the pool. It was like, holy shit, man, that dog jumped out quick as fuck. But he stopped running. That was one good thing. He stopped being fucking crazy. But it you know, we were like, okay, we can't touch him anymore because that's just going to make him more fucked up. So we left him alone. And like, I remember at this one point, like we were just sitting there. I think we were smoking cigarettes and shit. My buddy Billy hits a cigarette and like the cherry lighting up in his face. I was all like, dude, you look like fucking what's his name from Bush. And he kind of did anyway, but he literally had that face. And then when he took that second drag, he morphed into fucking Sub-Zero. Like he had the whole face mask and everything. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And then he hits it again, and I can't remember who he morphed into, but like his face was a whole nother face. And I'm just like, dude, I am freaking the fuck out right now. You were like changing shapes on me and all this shit. And he's all like, dude, you're just really high. We're at the peak right now and all this shit. You know, it'd been like 6 hours at this point. So at about that 6 hour mark is when you're, you know, you're hitting that ceiling of really fuck up. You know, you're seeing some shit. So I was just like, okay, dude, I'm good. I'm good. And then when I looked at him again, he was back to his normal self. So I was just like, okay, I'm good. We just hang out in the backyard for, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours, I guess. Because by the time I knew it, the sun was coming up. And we're like, oh, fuck. And we're sitting there smoking a cigarette. And my uncle walks by. And we're both fucking like, oh, fuck. He just saw us smoking cigarettes. And he just saw us up at like 5:30 in the morning. But what was crazy is he never said anything to me about that shit. I don't know if he didn't notice or if he just didn't want to admit that me and Billy were out there just getting fucked up all night or something. I don't know. But anyway, the sun comes up, still tripping pretty hardcore, man. Like, you know, stuff still kind of moving, you know, doing the breathing, but coming down for sure. Like I said, I think, yeah, we did have to go to school, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had to go to school because I remember like getting ready, like taking a shower, all fucking tripping, letting the water drip off me and shit, and then going to school. And if I remember correctly, I probably just slept all fucking day. I don't know. You can kind of stay up for a while on acid, even after the come down. Like that shit can kind of keep you going for quite a while. So I may have just stayed up. Who knows? But that was the first time I ever took acid. The girl told me it was called like orange sunshine, I believe. And it, of course, pretty much like the first time you hit weed or the first time you get drunk or anything like that, it was the most hardcore I had ever tripped. The most colors, the most, like I said, I've never seen anybody's face turn into another face ever again. And I've done several hits of acid. So it had nothing to do with needing to do a lot of acid to make that happen. Now, I've seen plenty of, colors and movement and all that kind of shit, but to actually see somebody morphing like I did with him, it never happened again. Now, it could have just been my brain putting that together, but it was just weird. But yeah, the acid trips were aplenty in Palm Springs. That's all I'll say. I think in like the, I don't know, year and a half that I was in that city, let's just say probably over 50 times for sure. Because like, especially when I was in the scene, like let's just say I wasn't really, I didn't really hang out with all those people right away, but I'm pretty sure I did. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I did that first hit of acid a month into living in Palm Springs. So I already got introduced to that group immediately. And then I just got further and further up the ladder of, hey, dude, you need this shit? It's only $2. Like I couldn't believe the prices I was paying. You like the prices here are insane. Like I understand it's been 20 years since, I was doing it back then, but $2 to $20 now, that's a lot of percentage gone up. But I think I was lucky, we had some hookups. You can get some pretty damn good deals. So it was hard not to just constantly want to be frying your brains out. That's all I'll say. Like there were definitely times, couple 3 times a week maybe. Cause there's parties and shit going on. So you got to do it while you're at the party, and then of course all the other shit. But acid was just flowing through that city like a river. It was crazy. Never anywhere else have I ever lived was it more accessible than in Palm Springs. And I almost guarantee it's probably the same way now. There's just something about that city. It's just party, you know. You can get that, pretty much any of the drugs you want, you can get freely and probably a lot in Palm Springs at any time of the day. And like I said, it's just because, a lot of those kids there had money and shit. So we were all able to fucking, just be like, yeah, I'll try some new shit. Let me try that thing over there. What do you got? What's that there? And there were some things I definitely wish I never would have tried. But fucking, I will say I never did heroin, never did crack. Those are two things I never did. But I guess supposedly heroin's in like Molly and shit, but I don't know. I'm just saying I never shot up no shit, never done no crack. So I've kept it mostly hallucinogenic and marijuana. But yeah, Palm Springs was fucking nutty, man. All those people that I grew up with there, they all know, man. Every Thursday, every weekend, there was some shit going down. It was fun as fuck. Like I said, even like I had more fun when I ran away from Kansas and went back there for like 3, 4, whatever, however many months I went back for. Because I was just free to go to every single party or, hang out at all my friends' houses all the time because I didn't have anywhere to go. So I was just constantly just doing dumb shit and it was fun as fuck. Like you said, it was definitely the funnest time of my life was Palm Springs. I miss that shit for sure, Like I said, I don't miss all the, I ain't doing any of the drugs or anything like that nowadays, so I don't miss that kind of shit. But just the fun that we had as kids doing all that stupid shit, I miss that. That's what I'm saying. Because yeah, I couldn't handle that shit nowadays. Like, I couldn't imagine trying to party like that at my age. Like, to think of the shit that we did. Like, I'll give another good example of something I did that was really stupid. I think I may have stole a bunch of money from my uncle. Or yes, this is what I did. It was after he went to jail. I went through his credit cards and I knew his pins. So I was all like, you know what? I'm going to grab some money and I'm going to buy a bunch of drugs. So what I did is I bought a nice 100 of acid. It was a nice little pitcher. If I remember right, it was fucking Scooby-Doo with a rainbow. It had 100 hits. I cut that shit up and I put it in a Tylenol bottle. And the next day I went to school. I took like 2 hits before school started. I got to the bus stop where I had a lot of friends and we smoked cigarettes and all that shit before going to school. And I was like, yo, acid, anybody? Acid, free acid. Anybody want some acid? And I think I gave it out to like 5 or 6 people at the bus stop. Then I get to school and then I, see all the other friends that I know. And I'm like, hey, acid people, anybody want some acid? Free acid. And I don't know how many people I ended up giving it to, but quite a few of us at lunchtime all meet up together, just frying our brains out, just like, oh my God, I can't believe we're this high in school. But do I think of me doing that? Like, I could have gotten so much trouble for that shit because that's a major drug. Like, you can get in a lot of fucking trouble for that shit. But I just didn't care, man. I was just a shithead teenager, just like, fuck it, man. Let's go to school and dose everybody. It was pretty fucking funny. Yeah, I've been going about 47 minutes. I didn't really pull anything up. Shit. I was sad to see the Irish Goodbye ended. I just fucking plugged those guys not even like 2 months ago. I was saying I fucking love that podcast and all this shit. And I guess they just did their last episode. I don't know why. I didn't even listen. I'm like, I don't want to listen to that shit. It's going to be all sad and shit. It's not that they're not friends anymore either, because they still do another podcast with Brandon Sagalow. Maybe they just decided to focus on that shit. Because I think they were getting a lot more pop on that shit. They were doing a lot more, hits and views with stuff on that podcast. I think it's called What's the Scenario? I believe it's what it's called. I think that's what it is. Let me see if I can pull that shit up right quick. It's probably going to make my shit get all choppy as fuck. Let's see here. But yeah, I was all sad to see that because I really enjoyed that show. They talked about a lot of funny shit, man. Kind of like how I do on here, talking about all the dumb shit they did growing up and everything. So it's kind of interesting to listen to other people's stories. But yeah, I was meaning to find out why they're not doing it anymore. See if I can find this shit. No, of course not. I should have pulled that shit up. Oh, I think I found one right. Oh. It's from like the 10th.
Now in the process of going live. Oh shit, I have to write a caption. You guys talk.
Hey Gene, what up? You want to say what's up to the What's the Scenario fam? Say what up.
I'm gonna put it on there so you can check it out real quick. course, it gets all dumb right when I switch it. Really?
Oh, what a cutie
You
pie.
motherfucker.
He's eating the mic. Look.
There we go.
Why does he eat? Oh, he's chewing it up.
Dismiss.
I like that you just have money to throw away like that.
Well, I didn't actually let him.
So they're using Zoom, who I'm kind of thinking about trying out here shortly
I didn't
because
see
I think
shit.
my shit on StreamYard's about to end.
Dude, I can't get this makeup off.
It's been all right, but I think
it feel
Zoom
so good?
might work a little bit better.
I just bought
Anyway.
a Honeywell.
Because it feels right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just bought a Honeywell.
That is Mike Cannon on the left, Brandon Saglow on the right, and Mike Feeney on the bottom. They're all really good fucking comedians. I'm pretty sure I've plugged most of their shit so far. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I don't need to keep playing their stuff constantly. But anyway, what I was going to say as far as comedy, I didn't really think of anything. So I guess I'll do a recommendation next time because I didn't pull anything up and I like to have you guys have at least something to listen to. But I guess, check out What's Your Scenario or What's the Scenario? I'm not sure which one it is. Sorry, guys. I haven't really checked it out yet. I think it's only on Patreon too. So sorry, I'm a cheap bitch. I do this shit for free. I'm not charging people. So I pay for gas right now. That's enough. But yeah, check them out. I think it looks like they got stuff on YouTube too. So I think I might check it out. I think what it is they be like, all right, this is what we got, kind of like how I did with the zombie apocalypse or alien invasion. Like if you were in this scenario, what would you do type shit. So it sounds like it's a pretty good show. So I may check it out because I've been really just stuck on listening to Ron and Fez lately. Like they've just been cracking me the fuck up. So, but I might have to check something else out. Anyway, I think I'm done for the day. I'm almost done an hour already. So my wife's in there playing Dak and Buck or some shit like that. I can't remember the name of the fucking game. It's an old game for PlayStation. She's all happy to be playing it. Thanks to my brother-in-law, Robert, for letting us borrow his PlayStation 4. Getting to check out some games I never tried before. We started playing this Dragon Ball Z game and it got all fucking stupid. Wanted me to like walk around and talk to people and shit. And I'm just like, I just want to beat people up. The fuck is this shit? Kind of remind me of that one Mortal Kombat game that everybody hated. You had to fucking walk around and do all kinds of stupid chores and shit. But I started playing the God of War game. That was pretty cool. Like the graphics are definitely amazing. I'll give PlayStation that, man. They definitely, it looks like they got the better refresh rate and all that kind of shit. Like it definitely just looks more crisp. Now, as far as the new shit, I don't know. I've heard the new Xbox actually has the better crispness to it. It's crazy. You still can't get those games some places. Like I have money I want to use somewhere, but they don't have the shit I want in stock. And it's just like, damn, really? I swear it's already been like over a year, right? How do you not have the shit in stock? Like I am ready to fucking try out the new shit. It's definitely past the time of, all the glitches and everything. So I think everything's working good. But like truthfully, I still haven't seen too many games that look all that much better, I guess. Or that like have drawn my attention where I'm like, fuck, I need to buy that new system so I can try that. I don't know. I guess like that Ninja game that PlayStation had, that looked kind of interesting. But even that, like there were so many bad glitches in that game that people were making fun of constantly. I was just like, damn, what the fuck's going on with PlayStation? You guys supposed to have good shit. And like I said, it looked like an awesome game, but it was just all fucked up for some reason. But I've been an Xbox person my whole life. And I've really thought about switching. Like I was really like, damn, I should just go get a PlayStation 5. Like PlayStation's just kind of been ahead in a lot of things that I enjoy more than what Xbox has been ahead at. Like they both have their better parts. But like I definitely wanted to go PlayStation just because I know their shit looks a little better. They play a little better. But there's just so many things a PlayStation I don't like. Those fucking controllers suck. Like I was trying to play last night and I'm just like, why are these buttons so close and everything's all weird? Why are these like I was just so confused. I hate it. But apparently you can buy controllers that are just like Xbox controllers for your PlayStation. So that's what I would do because fuck the PlayStation controller. That thing sucks. But like I said, I will say there are definitely parts of the PlayStation that I like. I mean, that's what, it started it. So, they definitely been at the game a lot longer. So it's understandable why they have a little bit more of, improvements on certain aspects of gaming. That's for sure. But I don't know. Like, I just like a lot of the Xbox shit. Like, they were the first ones doing like, the free games every month and all that shit. And like, I really like that. I like being able to get free shit constantly. They let us play free games all the time. And, it's just, you definitely get more for your money. So it's still a hard decision. I'm like, do I get the PlayStation 5 or do I get the new Xbox? Said I've been Xbox since the first one. So it'd be kind of hard for me to switch. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'm going to shut the fuck up because now I'm just rambling. Fuck. I was going to say something about something. Oh, yeah. I will definitely put the Fantasy Football League and the Pick'ems in the description. So check that out. Join the leagues, please. And like I said, prizes. So why not? It's free. You don't have to pay shit. Now, like if people wanted to join a pay league and want me to start one where we all put in $5 or some shit, I'm down to do that too. But for right now, it's all free shit. So join if you want. I appreciate it. I'll be back Monday for sure. And we'll catch you guys next time. If I can figure out where my button is. Peace.